And that comes down. And then there's room to get the tool in. And the tool comes in the tool bag that should be in the seat compartment. Well, hello everybody. I just adjusted the rear shock on my Vulcan 900, and I want to show you how to do it a way that I think is easier than what other people are showing. So depending on how you got things set up. So first of all, as we zoom in, there's the adjuster. That's the rear shock. Right there, you see the springs. And then those thing with the notches is the adjuster. So let's take a look at this. Let me walk you through it. It's all simple stuff. I don't think you need to see me do it step by step. You take the seat off. Editor's note, the most important thing is to push down where the front seat and the back seat meet while you're trying to turn the key so that the latch can release more easily. But you also may need some lube on the key lock as well. Then there's one screw that you got to take out somewhere. I think it's right here. You got to take out a screw right there, and then you take the plastic cover off, and the plastic cover is going to be stuck into these little rubber mounts. So don't be afraid when it kind of sticks. You just pull it. It only has the one screw. And then you're going to have your coolant, which you can see mine is ridiculously low. But there's a plate that goes over the coolant. That screw comes out right there. Right there. And then the coolant comes out. And that comes down. And then there's room to get the tool in. And the tool comes in the tool bag that should be in the seat compartment, or just under the seat. And that tool has this piece in it and this piece, and you put them together. And you can go either way. You can make it looser or tighter. Let me see if I can get this thing in here. But you need to get the coolant removed so you got room to work. And then what you're gonna find is you're gonna bruise your thumb if you push on this thing when it finally lets go, when it finally goes to the next notch, because it takes some effort to push on it. And I put one hand on the frame, and then I got it locked in there, and I can pull on it. But I actually put a pipe on the end of it. And the purpose of the pipe is not to get more leverage, but it's to get my hand out of it. In some ways it's to get more leverage, but it's to get my hand out of there. So when that thing finally gives and it snaps, I'm not bruising my thumb up against one of these metal pieces. And that's pretty much it. And then there are 7 settings. So you can see the notches there. Mine's on 5, there's 6, there's 7, then it goes back down to 1. And depending on your weight, and more importantly, how it feels to you, you might want to adjust the suspension to match your weight. So I think 4 is the default. If you're lighter, if you're less than 150 pounds, then you might want to put it 3, 2, or 1. If you're 200 pounds, you might want 4 or 5 or 6. If you're 300 pounds, then you might want a different shock, or don't worry about it if it's not a problem for you. But people that say when they're riding 2 up, meaning you got a passenger or they're heavier people, they seem to say that 5 and 6 feels right for them. So I didn't really have any problem. I just wanted to learn about it, and I adjusted it myself all the way. Went all the way one way, all the way the other way, just like I was telling you, just to kind of see how it feels. And now I'm going to continue to do some other maintenance here on the bike. So again, just so you can see for context where everything is and what we're talking about. That's it. Oh, and one last thing that I did forget to mention, which may or may not be important, depending on what you're doing, is I do have this up on a motorcycle jack. And you got to be careful. There are some pieces underneath. You need to make sure that when you put your jack on there, that you've got it set in such a way that it doesn't damage the little nub that's coming out of the bottom. You can't really see it, but if you look under there, you'll see it. So when you put your jack under, just be careful. You don't need a motorcycle jack. You can jerry-rig something else. Just get the pressure off the wheel. It'll make it a little easier to adjust that, but it'll also make it so the bike is less stable. So, it may become a 2-person job depending on how you want to stabilize it. So I hope that was helpful. Have a good one.